What are the benefits and advantages of being an EU citizen? What if I want to move to another EU country? And what if I'm not an EU citizen and want to move to Spain? Stick around and you'll find out. Welcome to YouTooSpain. Let's dance! So let's get straight to the point of this video. We're first going to answer the question, what are the benefits of being an EU citizen? What about if you're not and you want to move to an EU country? We'll come to that later, Walter. Brexit! Yes, Tommy. Brexit has turned UK citizens into non-EU citizens, and quite a few of our subscribers are from the UK. So later I'll be briefly explaining the differences between what EU and non-EU citizens need to do if they want to live in an EU country. And will you tell us how to become EU citizens? Yes, but let's start with the benefits. First of all, EU citizenship is automatically given to people who hold the nationality of an EU country. And with that, you have lots of rights. Some of these rights are based on national laws, which might be different from country to country, while others are based on EU laws, which are the same in all EU countries. What rights are those then? They're all about everyday life, like shopping, driving, working, healthcare, and family and relationship issues. The first fundamental right is that you can live and move within the EU without being discriminated against on the grounds of nationality. That's good. It is. And you get the right to consumer protection and also healthcare if you meet certain requirements. I'll come to those in a minute. Can I work in the EU as well? Yes, you can. You have the same right to work as all other EU citizens, and there are lots of laws protecting your rights as a worker. In fact, there's a whole charter of fundamental rights of the European Union. That's very important and tells you all about the common values of the countries of the Union and what they're based on. Ooh, tell us about those. I will, but I'm going to summarise it because there's such a lot of awesome rights set out for everyone's protection and such a lot of detail that we'd be here for hours if I told you all about them. I'll get bored. Exactly, so I'll be brief. If you want to read the full details, I'll put a link in the video description below here to the EU website where the charter is. And there are lots of other really useful links there as well. Okie dokie. So here goes. The EU was founded on the indivisible, universal values of human dignity, freedom, equality, and solidarity. And it's based on the principles of democracy and the rule of law. Sounds very grand. Yes, but at the heart of it is the individual, which is why it's all about citizenship of a union and creating an area of freedom, security and justice for everyone. It's all about me. Yes, it is. And every individual citizen with their common values. But the EU also respects the different cultures and traditions and the national identities of all of its countries and helps them to improve and develop their organisation, and it guarantees the free movement of people, services, goods and capital. Sounds like a good thing to me. The Charter is a very good thing. People with common values and respect don't tend to go to war against each other. And the EU was formed at a time when we were all very aware of what treating some people as inferior to others and giving them fewer rights did to Europe in World War II. Nasty. So what came out of that was this set of rules that benefits every single individual, including a respect for human dignity. That's number one. Ooh, list. Number one. Human dignity is inviolable and should be protected. Number two. Everyone has the right to life, so no death penalty. Number three. Everyone has the right to respect for their physical and mental integrity. No eugenics and no cloning. Those are just two of the details. Thanks, Tommy. Number four. No torture or inhumane treatment or degrading punishments. Number five. No slavery or human trafficking. Number six. The right to liberty and security. Number seven. Respect for privacy and family life, home and communications. Number 8, protection of personal data. Number 9, the right to marry and have a family. Number 10, freedom of thought, conscience and religion, and the right to change your beliefs and the right to conscientious objection. Number 11, freedom of expression and information. Is there a lot more? There are 54 articles. 54? Is that absolutely necessary? Not only necessary, but vitally important. But it's going to take all day to go through the list. All right then, let's speed it up a bit so we can move on. I think I can paraphrase even more. Numbers 12 to 19. These are all freedoms. There's freedom of the arts and sciences, the right to education, work, run a business, own property, get asylum, and finally, get protected against extradition or expulsion. Numbers 20 to 26. Equality. Everyone is equal, no discrimination on the grounds of culture, religion, language or gender, and the rights of children, the elderly and the disabled are protected. Numbers 27 to 38. Solidarity. That's workers' rights protected, so working conditions are fair, they can negotiate, get protection, there's no child labour, you've got a right to family life, social security, healthcare, access to services, environmental protection and consumer protection. Numbers 39 to 46. Citizens' rights, like the right to vote in European and local elections, the right to good administration, access to documents, and an independent ombudsman, the right to petition, freedom of movement and residence, and finally, diplomatic protection. Numbers 47 to 50. Justice. That's the right to a fair trial, the presumption of innocence, the right of defence, the right to fair and proportional penalties, and the right to not be tried twice for the same offence. And finally, numbers 51 to 54. These are all about general provisions and application of the Charter, the scope and interpretation of your rights and principles, the level of protection and the prohibition of the abuse of all of your rights under this Charter. Bleeding heck, do you need to lie down? Not at all, Tommy. In fact, it's quite invigorating and good for the soul to hear all of the rights and protections that we all have and that all members of the European Union agreed to, so that we could live in peace and be free. So why did Britain want to leave? That's a very good question, Walter, and one that doesn't make complete sense to me. I'll leave that argument for another video. Can we move on now? My head is going to explode. Okay, Tommy, let's talk about what happens if you're an EU citizen and you want to move to another EU country, and what's different between that and if you're a non-EU citizen. Okay, the big difference is that if you're an EU citizen and you have the freedom to live and work in the EU, you don't need a visa to move to another EU country. But if you're a non-EU citizen, British, then you do need a visa, and there are conditions to getting all of the different visas that mean you need, for example, more money, more qualifications, more documents, and have a more difficult process before you even find out whether your application is accepted. Then once you arrive, you have to apply for residency to complete the process, and then renew that residency twice more in the first 5 years. Blimey! Whereas if you're a citizen of an EU country, you can stroll in and you only need to register with the authorities of that country if you intend to stay there for more than 90 days. You can travel around indefinitely if you want, all the while under the protection of the EU. And you can bring your family, even if they're not EU citizens, and they get more or less the same protections as you. That's nice. It is, and it's all because your right to family is protected under the Charter, so they can't split you up. Unless one of you breaks the law, of course. I love my family. So you keep telling us, Tommy. I can say whatever I want. You can, because you registered as a resident of Spain before Brexit, and as part of the withdrawal agreement, you have the same rights as an EU citizen, which means you have freedom of thought and expression. It's all there in the Charter, as long as, and this is very important, as long as it doesn't go against the rights of another citizen. And just remember, whatever you do say, everyone else has the right to strongly disagree with you if they want. Oh, heck! Yes, So you can't just go shouting your mouth off and encouraging people to treat citizens as lesser human beings. That's against the principles of the EU. Why are there so many trolls then? Maybe they haven't read the rules properly, and they always think they're right and the rules are wrong, and they just blame immigrants for everything, or they just want to annoy everyone. What they need is peace and love, and a little bit more of YouTooSpain.com. Yes, indeed. Hang on a minute. You said you'd tell us how to become EU citizens. You're right, I nearly forgot. So, to become a citizen of an EU country, you need either to have ancestors from that country or you need to live there for a length of time. How long for? That depends on the country. In Spain, for example, you need to have lived here for 10 years if you have no family connections. Or there are some people who can do it quicker, which is why I made another video all about it. Tell you what, I'll put a link below to that one. What about other countries? They all have slightly different rules, so the best thing to do is check with the embassy for each country for their citizenship rules. I did make a video about getting Irish citizenship. The link is below for that, with lots of other information just for you. Lots of people have Irish roots, so that one's been very popular. You've got Irish citizenship, haven't you? I am absolutely overjoyed to say yes, I have, Walter. I'm very proud of it too, and I think in some ways the three of us are all Irish at heart. Fiddle-dee-dee. Marvellous. Is everybody happy? Yes, thank you. I'm very happy. Excellent. Then it's worth clicking on the like button and subscribing. Okay. Should we do the dance again? Why not? Peace and love. Peace and fluff. Oi, oi. Let's boogie.